So I could even be completely off of the balcony and you would have no idea. How cool is that? I think so. I mean, I think it's kind of cool. You might not, but I'm kind of a nerd, so I think it's kind of cool. What is up, guys? Welcome to the vlog. Today is going to be a fun one, but before we get started, I've had a little bit of iffy feelings about my audio, so I'm gonna try a little trick here. I'm hoping that this sounds a little bit better. We did get a mic for the camera. I don't know, it's definitely not like one of the high-end mics or one of the better mics, but it will do for now. It is wired as well, which is okay. So, but the only thing is, I'm a little concerned that if we're moving around a bunch, like today in the gym, if I'm moving around a bunch, I'm hoping that this isn't gonna make a bunch of scrunchy noises and stuff like that, but we'll worry about that later. Gabby. Bubs. Gabby. Bubs. What are you doing? See, so I could be in a completely different room and this mic is gonna throw you for a loop. You'll never know. I'll be like a magician. I'll be over here, I'll be over there. I could even be completely off of the balcony and you would have no idea. How cool is that? I think so. I mean, I think it's kind of cool. You might not, but I'm kind of a nerd, so I think it's kind of cool. We did get, whoa, what's this?
What's what?
Who sent this to you? Who wrote that?
Zim.
You're right, I did write that. You know why? Because I love Bubs. But we did get a little whiteboard. Wink, wink, plug, plug. So that's kind of cool. We'll be using that in future videos. Most definitely. Today is going to be a little bit of insight into the secret of shredded arms. So hopefully by the end of this video, you can have a new arm workout to throw into your routine that will eventually help your biceps and triceps grow a lot. All right, and so today we are gonna go through the gym. Well, actually, first things first, I wanna shout out Cade. Called me out on the water bottles, so I'll only be drinking out of the cup while we're home from now on, which I should be doing anyway. The difference with today's videos and other gym workouts, which I think is gonna be really cool, is that I'll be able to give you, hopefully, vocal instruction while we go through the arm workout. So I'll actually be able to tell you little tips that I use on certain lifts, as opposed to in the past, we've been kind of stuck to the fact that we have to rely on the camera on the mic, and that's gonna catch a lot of the music from above and things like that. So I'm really hoping that this mic won't catch all that music. I'm super excited. Let's get right into it. Alright guys, so for the first bicep movement, we're going to do a superset type version of single arm preacher curls, single arm preacher hammer curls. Now if you don't know what a hammer curl is compared to a regular curl, I'm going to show you that real quick. So this is how your hand placement is going to be with the dumbbell on a standard curl, just like that. And for a hammer curl, you're going to want to come right here. Turn it sideways, get that thumb facing the ceiling, you're going to come right here, just like that. For these, with foot placement guys, when you're doing your right arm, because you're going to do a set on each arm, when you're doing your right arm, get that left foot forward. That way your weight's over the bench and you're literally leaning your weight onto the top of the bench. For the hammer curl, you're going to want to come to about right here to where you're about an inch and a half off of that mat, coming straight back up. All the way to where that weight almost touches your shoulder. It may not always hit your shoulder depending on what weight you're doing, but since these are bigger, they hit my shoulder and I'm going right back down. For the other side, you're gonna keep that same foot placement. Left foot forward, right foot back, weight onto the bench. You come down for a standard curl. Same thing, about 1.5 inches off of that mat. For the left arm, you're gonna bring your right foot forward, get your weight onto the bench again, right here, to where your armpit is kind of locking you into place. And you're gonna have, for your standard curls, you're gonna be right here, come about 1 inch off of that mat, straight back up. For the hammer, you're gonna wanna be in this direction. Same thing though, keep yourself about 1 inch off of that mat, just like that. And for each of these movements, so left arm with the standard curl, left arm with the hammer curl, 4 sets of 15. Right arm with the hammer curl and right arm with the standard curl, 4 sets of 15. And we count this all as one movement because you're basically gonna pick a weight that you can superset this with. So you'll do your standard left arm, standard right arm, hammer curl left arm, hammer curl right arm. Take a 30-second break or so, go back to your standard curl left arm, standard curl right arm, hammer curl left arm, hammer curl right arm. And that's intense. You're gonna start your tricep movements the same way. The first one, you're gonna be right here, pull it down. I always like to put my feet together and then I'll stick my ass out a little bit and make sure that my back is straight. And on the way down, the trick to a tricep movement is keeping that elbow in place. So I'm coming right here, my elbow's not moving at all, staying right there. Okay? And again, it needs to be nice and controlled both ways, but this is gonna be your first movement. And the reason that we use this bar for this movement, as opposed to like the small bar or anything like that, is that the superset version is when you're gonna start with like this. You're literally just gonna turn that bar over, bring it down here, and all you're gonna do is keep your feet together, but this time you're standing straight up, back straight, and just coming straight down on a reverse tricep. Just like that. And the way to do this is kind of the same thing, but the opposite of a bicep movement. Make sure your bicep is fully flexed before you go back down. So I'm coming all the way up to here, going back down. All the way up to here, and coming back down. And when I do this one, I do keep my feet together, but I almost lean my chest forward a little bit, just so that way my center of gravity is over the bar. Just like that. So when you superset those, you're gonna do 4 sets of each, 8 to 12. I would probably recommend shooting for about 10 because doing the 10 and 10, the 20 reps total is gonna really burn and definitely create that flexion. So again, you're gonna start here, you're gonna get your 10 in this way, then let the bar go all the way up, flip it over, grab it upper with your wrist up, going just the reverse. For our next movement, we're gonna do easy bar standing curls. This one's really good for hitting the outer head of your bicep. So all you're gonna do is you'll start right here. On this movement, you wanna make sure that for your start, every time you come down for a rep, you want your tricep to be flexed. That way it's gonna show a full flexion in your bicep. So you're gonna come all the way down, all the way up to about here. All the way down, flexing that tricep, all the way back up. Do about 4 sets and try to pick a weight that you can do at least 10 reps with. If you can do more than that, maybe you should go up. If you can't do more than that, probably should go down a little bit. Got a vacuum going in the background. This next movement, we're gonna use ropes. You're gonna come down to right here for your starting point. I like to keep my feet together again for this one. Stick my ass out, make sure that back's straight, get my center of gravity over top of those ropes. I'm coming straight down, all the way up, straight back down, all the way up. And you're gonna do about 4 sets of 15 with these. Make sure you pay attention to keeping that elbow in place. If your elbow's all over the place, you're gonna be using your forearms, your shoulders, all sorts of things. As long as those elbows are locked, not moving, you're gonna make sure you're really isolating that tricep muscle. Just like that. All right, and then this next movement is pretty simple. It's gonna be cable curls with I guess I'm just gonna call this a mini bar. Another secret to this one is to kind of take a step back so that you're sort of at an angle and you're leaning backwards, and you're gonna come up to the top of the angle. Should be right here. Same thing with that tricep extension. You want to come fully all the way down just to where your tricep flexes, so that way you're getting a full flexion in your bicep. Straight back up. That one's definitely going to make you feel a serious pump. And now I always try to get at least 15 with that because it's a cable movement. So you really want to repeat that resistance as much as you can. So 4 sets of 15. Pick a weight that you can definitely get 15 with. Next movement is a little bit more advanced, but if you can do it, it's definitely worth it. So what you're going to do is get that left heel up against that bar there. You'll step forward to where you're kind of in a lunge position. And all you're gonna do is keep those elbows locked in place, and it's gonna be an overhead tricep extension. And one thing I like to do when I do these ones is after I come forward all the way, I like to kind of curl out a little bit to bullhorn it. That way it just really does create a nice flex in the tricep. Just like that, elbows in place, overhead tricep extension. So put that one back into place. Once you're forward, just let the rope pull you back until you feel it click back into spot, and then you can let go, step away from it. And you're gonna do about 4 sets of 12 to 15. So pick a weight that you can control, and that when you step forward like this, you're not contorting your back to get it pulled forward. Make sure you pick a weight that you can control. And you're gonna hear me say that tons and tons of times. I can't even begin to explain how many times I've seen people in the gym lifting more weight than they absolutely should. Always pick a weight you can control, take your pride, throw it to the side. So the next movement is gonna be rope curls, cable rope curls. And on this one, you wanna make sure your hand placement when you start is with your wrist up instead of being here. So you don't wanna be coming up in a curl like that. You wanna come here almost similar to the hammer curl. You're gonna come right there. And that way it's gonna hit your outer head of your bicep a little better. Same thing on the angle, to kind of take a step back. So that way it's in front of you a little bit. So when you're coming up, you're meeting your shoulder right there. Because if you're over this thing a little too much, you're not going to be able to get that full movement you need in your bicep. So when you take a step back, it kind of helps with that. And on that one, you're going to do about 4 sets of 8 to 12. By this point, your biceps are going to be hurting. You're going to feel real pump. It's going to be a bit shot, but you're going to have one more movement with your bicep. And this is going to be the 4th tricep movement of the night. It is my absolute favorite tricep movement. If you are lucky enough to have one of these ball grips, then definitely use it. If not, you can always use one of these handles, but if they have one of these or one of the cones, then definitely use those, because that's going to be the isolation you're looking for. So what you'll do is you'll get in that lunge position again of the opposite of which way you're going. So since I'm taking my right hand and I'm going to the outside, I'm going to have my left foot forward, just like this. You're going to start here, keeping that elbow in place, just like that. I want to do about 4 sets of 15 on each arm. Just for an example, I'll show you the other arm real quick. So it's going to be the same thing on the other side. Grab the ball with your left hand, right foot forward this time, and that lunge again right here. Body over the weight, coming right here, keeping that elbow in place. So for this next movement, same thing, guys. Anytime you're using a cable, taking that step back is going to help out a lot with, so you can make sure you're getting that full flexion in your arm. What you're going to do for this one, put one of these curved bars here, and you're going to want to grip the outside of it right there, so that way your hands are a little bit wider than your hips, and you're gonna come straight up. And that way, the reason that you do that is because on your way up, if you can look right here, you'll see that my hand is a little bit wider than my shoulders. And as opposed to like a standard curl, you're gonna be inside, but when you're doing a movement with a wider bar, it's gonna make it to where you're forcing your hands outward and gonna hit a different part of that bicep head. And also make sure on all these bicep movements, you're nice and controlled on the way down. You don't wanna be shooting up and gapping or pulling or anything like that. You just wanna be right here, nice and controlled up, nice and controlled down. 3 sets of 10, and on that 4th set, just go to burnout. Go until you literally can't go anymore. This is gonna be your last bicep movement of the night. So keep that in mind while you're doing it, and just go till you literally can't lift that bar anymore. All right, guys, so that will do it for the bicep and tricep workout. Stretching, guys. With the arm workouts, make sure you're stretching out your arms. You don't wanna risk an injury, because like as soon as you're injured, man, that's gonna take away all your gains for the next month or however long you're out for. Just so I can't stress this enough. Please stretch before you lift weights. There are so many people who don't, and it's so important. Stretch before you lift. Stretch before you lift. Stretch before you lift. I did my 15 minutes of Stairmaster, and every now and again when I do cardio, it's called people call it like a runner's high or whatever, but I get like these little, I don't know, kicks of inspiration. And I was just thinking about the last 2.5 weeks and how when I started this YouTube channel, I mean, I literally had no film background, no idea how to edit, no idea how to talk to a camera. I mean, honestly, I had nothing that could have told me like this would be the thing that you would want to do. I had a very small social media presence, but if you have something you want, allow yourself to stumble and fail. Have the courage to do it anyway. Don't let anyone trick you into thinking that this is a battle with anyone but you and yourself. Attempting to satisfy the world around you can leave you completely empty. You have to put yourself through these short-term struggles to gain that long-term success if that's what you want. You're gonna have to take those bruises and that pain and just stack it on top of itself like bricks. Give yourself something real to stand on. Stand right on top of those bricks that you laid from those pains. Redraw your expectations, adjust your outcomes. Just know that if you're gonna do this, you have to know what you want. And not only what you want, but what you don't want as well. Not only where you want to be, but where you don't want to be. If it's something that you really want,
you'll do whatever you have to make it happen. And I just hope that everyone gets that opportunity to go and pursue something that they really want to do, because it kind of just lights a fire in you. And almost like, I mean, I just felt like when I put out my first video, I felt like I was like shocked by electricity, and like I just was like, oh man, this must be what I want to do, and like this seems so real to me. And some people, that might sound silly, but again, I'm not battling with anybody else. My pursuit is between me and me, and to get better and better every single day that I do this. So I want to leave you guys with one of my favorite quotes. Don't wait in line for something you don't even want. So don't be at a job you don't want to do, waiting for a promotion that you don't even want to do. So with that, I want to say, give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe for me being in the gym and literally having this wired mic attached to me, lifting in front of people and like trying to explain to you guys. I just want to help in any way that I can for somebody that doesn't have access to this type of information. So yeah, thumbs up and subscribe. There's going to be a lot more coming soon. We're going to get better mics. We're going to get better video. It's going to be amazing, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic night.